So every month we look at our top 20. We try to focus on more SKUs, but my time and energy with my gal that focuses in on the operation on this, we spend and we do a deep dive, and we break down what's best returning on investment. Where are we seeing more returns on a product? Because returns eat away at your profit really fast, and Amazon's made it way too easy right now to return anything. And now you have to pay, as a seller, you have to pay the return cost and the shipping. So and you can return product at retail as well. So in a world of Amazon where you can return anything that you want at a drop of a hat, I'll walk over here, I'll take it over here, or I'll print a label. You got to be able to look at that. So now we also look at how many returns are being generated, and we also track that so that we can keep an eye. Whoa, this is getting out of hand. Now, what's going on? Is there something in that listing that we forgot to add, or words or videos or something else that can bring down the return rate? Because sometimes customers just frankly get a product and they don't look at the manuals, or maybe like for us, it's, it may require a few steps for them to hook it up and use it properly. So then we look at, okay, this is higher than the norm. And what's going on? Oh yeah, you know what? That listing doesn't have any videos on how to use.
So I got a question there around that. So as you kind of zeroed in on returns, and I love that idea of zeroing in on returns. Are you currently capable of watching like a return rate across everything that's there? Do you feel like you have holes in the data? Are you just looking at those top 20 for return rate? Like how are you monitoring returns right now?
So we look at returns on a volume basis as well as an overall basis. So we'll know of the top 20, we know overall from top to bottom, all the SKUs, what our overall return rate is. Let's say it's 5%, just for numbers sake. And we have a particular SKU that's double that at 10%, right? Something is wrong. That when we have something that far out of the norm. So then what is it? Is it something that we've done like in a listing, or what we've found the case, and quite often when there's a blip like that, the complaints that come back on it and give it 1-star rating, yeah, I couldn't charge it. And then you see another one, I couldn't charge it. Or the battery it died really fast. So
question on that return rate. So you're watching that. How often are you running your return rate report? Like if you, let's say that you had
it monthly.
You do it monthly. And are you only doing it monthly because it just takes a fair amount of time to like aggregate all that data? Because one of the thoughts that's coming into my head is, what if there's like a bad shipment? Like a lot of what you do, it's direct from the manufacturer, right? You got these different things. So that product doesn't actually pass through a Global Tech employee's hands in a lot of situations. So there could be like, let's say, a bad lot at the manufacturer, and so all of a sudden you get like 5 or 6 returns in a day when normally it's like 1 a week. Like do you have anything in place that helps you monitor that sort of return?
We could increase the interval. So the problem is not the data. The right now, since we have a pretty good grasp on returns, and a lot of it doesn't fluctuate a whole lot, we can go to a monthly interval. Now, if we had some intelligent thing that told us, hey guys, your black variation of this product, it's out of the norm, you got 20 shipped back in one day. Oh, that would be good to know, because maybe we have 1,000 in stock of that lot. And we've done this before, where we saw 3 or 4 complaints and they were all the same. And then we dug into it. Oh my God, yes, they mislabeled this from the manufacturer. Or, oh my God, they put the wrong product in the box. That's happened.
And the wrong product in the box could be your 3PL that's putting in the wrong product in the box, or could be like somewhere the directions of peanut butter goes here, jelly goes here, slap it together, mail it to the, somewhere somebody missed a point.
Yeah, and it usually was the manufacturer in China. That 9 times out of 10, and it's because their Google Translate Chinese to English doesn't always compute properly when they look at even the spreadsheet with pictures in it. So We've had several times where we've had to empty out and do a removal order, which is not cheap. It's not fun. You get things in little boxes instead of just one big pallet of stuff.
But you got to catch that as quickly as possible.
You got to.
Seller feedback is going to be an absolute nightmare.
So we have to eat it. We have to eat it. So having something that says, hey, look, something just happened where you have an unusual amount of returns based on your average for all of your products would be good to have for those folks like us that may have a bunch of SKUs, and you're just kind of on a cycle of when you kind of look at it and, oh, wait a minute, let's see what's going on over there.
How do you like consume those? Is that like an email message that comes in, a Slack channel thing, a tool you go look at? Is it like how would you prefer?
Right. Well, prefer it notification. Notification, either email or some other method that allows me to decide how I want to consume that, whether it's on my phone or on my email or both, right? If it's part of an app, then does the app send out notification to tell me that event has just occurred?
And then do you want, what's your preference on, I'm curious what you'd say is like, okay, maybe you realize the returns are a significant part, and that's a core differentiator for you. Does it do good for you to recommend a product like Seller Labs, build that into it? Or would you rather consume the data and come up with it yourself and not share that piece of information?
Be greedy with it.
Yeah.
Not give it to anybody else. I don't want anybody else to compete, right?
Another way of asking that is like, how special is your formula? Is it something that a third party should generate? Or do you want to just have access to more of the raw data and you build your special sauce and keep it to yourself, either because it's special and proprietary, or because the formula for calculating it is unique to you in some way?
I tell you, right now we're able to see the return rate on an app that we use, and it gives us that on a per SKU basis.
Okay.
So it's nothing unique right now.
Okay.
There's that information is available through Amazon if you want to consume it with the raw data. They also they have a business report, as you said. The data is there, but it's clumsy, right? And I believe that's probably where they're generating these numbers from, and just getting a report via API, spitting it out to the app. So the part that we don't get is the intelligent notification about that.
Nobody's monitoring that.
Exactly. So we just do it on a monthly interval, and it's better than nothing. But it could be better, like you're alluding to. It absolutely could be, but much better than what it is.
For me, it feels like the value here, if we're talking about an intelligent notification, is the monitoring, right? You haven't asked your operations lady to go in and watch this closely because you don't see a ton of variance as of right now. It's generally pretty steady. But every once in a while, and you just mentioned 3 or 4 instances that were like, oh yeah, one time we had a bad lot and we had to do the return thing, and it was costly.
Right.
Like had something been out there that could notify me of like, ooh, there's a spike, a return spike. Sellerreturnspike.com sounds like Brandon's gonna go find another domain name there. The dude, if you knew how many domain names he has, that seller space or seller then insert name of product.
He's the one that took all the good ones, huh? Now I know who to talk to.
Not many of them. I got a few.
He's got a few, but no, that's interesting. So the valuable part here is the monitoring of that norm, and I think that idea of like a variance, like monitoring, I mean, most things, right? A spike in sales, a drop in sales, a spike in returns, a drop in returns, like all of those things, I think kind of give you some ideas of like, ooh, there's a variance here.
I think you hit it on something. I have not heard it put that way, but that's another way to say it. In monitoring the data, right? It's just like monitoring service at your house for an alarm, right? Yeah, there's some central call center, right? That gets an intelligent notification that says, hey, your window broke downstairs. Let me call the police, right? And then they call you on your phone and say, hey, everything's okay over there? There's nothing like that yet on the Amazon side, and maybe it's time to.
Well, I said there are lots of alerting things, right? Somebody can alert you if a photo changes or your title change. That's like a very binary change, like
yes,
change from A to B. there's nothing really that says your normal return rate is 5%. So if it goes up to 10%, that's abnormal.
And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
because there are things that will also say like you got a return. You can get an alert on an individual return, but there's nothing that really says based on your averages or whatever the outlier
On your
detection
history.
algorithm is. It's outside the bounds of normal. So that would be kind of interesting to look at. But there's all kinds of metrics you could throw at that.
Yeah, and you know, when you have those events, and I'm sure almost any Amazon seller that's been selling for a while has a story close to that or something like that. Something went wrong at 3PL, they put the wrong label, or something. Even Amazon themselves, it's happened to us. We send a 3-pack and they break it up into individual packs, right? And all of a sudden you get a bunch of people that paid 3 times as much for something and they get 1.
Yeah.
And so, and we've had to go backwards in time to try to identify the root, and it was Amazon. So something like that, then it shows up on the data like, wait, these returns are too high for this product. What's happening, right? And so at least it's something that signals that something's happening. Look at it, because if you keep letting it go, negative reviews will go up. You'll lose more money.
Hey,
right.
There's another place where you could watch for a variance, right? A variance in your reviews. So like if your review average is about 3.7 on a regular basis and it drops to 2 or 1, like you don't normally see 1-star, 4 1-star reviews in a row. Like I need to know about a drop in variance.
It goes in the positive direction too. Sometimes it's like, what happens? Oh, I had a big jump in sales yesterday. What happened? How do I repeat that? I imagine there could be positive things that happen too. But
and now you're hitting the area that's really interesting, which is this is where I've been spending more time with my people, is how to identify the patterns that now are leading to success. And that's where the data gets hard, because Amazon has a couple of new reports: the search query report, search performance report, and all of it. How do we then attribute this to that? And on putting those different relationships together and correlate them is then, oh yes, if we use these set of keywords on our listings, we've seen, and actually that's what we did today. With my staff meeting, we did all of these, and all of those listings went in the right direction. And so being able to understand those relationships so that as a seller, I could double, triple, quadruple down, and let's do more of that. That is really interesting, right? And I would imagine that, again, I'm talking about advanced sellers only because to me, not a lot of sellers care about this. And the ones that want to make 6, 7, 8 figures are the ones that say, how do I get a competitive advantage? How do I throw better money more intelligently at what I'm doing? They're going to get that.